So let me start with an introduction to career exploration. So before you start using tools like LinkedIn or Handshake to kind of start your career job internship search, you really need to look at career exploration as a whole. So I want to really talk about that first. And really, this is a matching game. It's all about understanding your own personal innate internal curiosity and interests, your value system, what motivates you, where are you going to thrive, what kind of work do you want to do, are you going to enjoy doing? All of that needs to overlap with the career interests that the company offers you, right? That a certain company or a certain position or a certain internship or entry-level job is offering for you. And what you're looking for is that perfect sweet spot in the middle. So having these two overlapping circles in a Venn diagram form, and then you're looking for that perfect sweet spot in the middle where your own personal curiosity and interests and motivations and value system align with what the company is doing and the work that they're offering you or that you're trying to secure. So this is, to me, the key. And I could sit here and kind of pontificate on the philosophy of life and the meaning of life and finding happiness in life. But I don't really want to do that because that's not what this workshop's about. But I do kind of will tell this story, and I think all of you may or may not have met somebody like this, but I know every adult my age who's like mid-career has met somebody who's gone through this kind of this career pathway. So I'll use a medical doctor as an example where, for 4 years, they worked so hard in high school to get a perfect 4.0 GPA to go to the best possible undergraduate school so that hopefully one with a medical school on campus so that they can get access to the medical field and get an introduction to medical school. Then they do 4 more years. So 8 years in now, 4 more years of medical school. And then they do maybe 3 years of residency, and they're still not really getting paid yet, right? They're getting paid like minimal, like, $30,000 a year. And so that's, 8 plus the 3. So that's 11 years in. And finally, maybe they graduate from the residency and they go and get their first actual paying job and they start making some quote unquote real money. And so 2 years in or less than a year in, that medical doctor realizes, oh my gosh, what have I done? I hate this. This is not what I thought being a doctor was going to be. I don't like dealing with the health insurance companies, or I don't like working at this hospital with all of these restrictions and rules. And I don't want to risk going into private practice because there's so much liability and money to build that up. This is not what I want to do. And then, 13 years into their career, they realize that they hate their job and they don't want to do it anymore. So you obviously don't want to be that guy. And that story can translate to any profession. It can translate to being a lawyer, or to you, to being an engineer. So really, what I want to talk about in the next couple slides is how do you avoid that being you? And the key here is for you to kind of do some internal self-exploration to figure out what it is that you're looking for, what it is that excites you, and what it is that's going to make you happy. You're going to spend an overwhelming majority of your adult life at work, right? And you work 40 hours a week and you do the math. You're spending very little time at home or with your family or on the weekends doing personal time, right? Most of your adult life is at work. So you want to make sure you find something that matches what you're interested in. So I want to introduce this concept called the IKIGAI. There is a website called IKIGAItest.com where you can go to this website and complete this survey. It'll ask you a bunch of questions. And the idea here is to align your personality, your interests, your skills, and your values to find the right career for you. So what you see here are 4 concentric circles. You have what you love, the what the world needs circle, the what you can be paid to do circle, and the what you're good at circle. So if you overlap the what you love to do and what you're good at, that is called passion. So that's that overlapping Venn diagram there. If you look at what you're good at and what the world and what you can be paid to do, that's called profession, and that's this overlap here. What the world needs and what you can get paid to do, that's called a vocation with this overlap here. And then what the world needs and what you love to do is mission. And what you're hoping to do is find that perfect spot, sweet spot right in the middle that overlaps all four circles. So you want to find some work, full-time work, a company, a special position that aligns with what you love, what the world needs, what you can get paid to do, and what you're good at. And so you can go onto this website, IKIGAItest.com, and take your own Ikigai test just to kind of, again, reflect on what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you could get paid to do. So I highly recommend you do that. And again, finding the perfect company, the perfect job, or the perfect internship really starts with knowing yourself and what you are looking for. So this circle here is the interests, the world needs is the skills, the what you can get paid for is values, and then what you're good at is personality. So, and this is a screenshot of what might come out of your Ikigai. So I just took a screenshot so you see what the result is going to be. And obviously this will be tailored to you and how you answer the questions. A second thing you can do is when you get onto Handshake, so all of you hopefully know how to log on to Handshake. I just asked the poll earlier before the video to see if you already activated your Handshake. So I'm assuming 100% of you have. Once you get into Handshake, in the top right-hand corner, there is a Career Center tab. And if you click on that drop-down menu, there is an option that says Career Center Resources. So under that Career Center Resources will pop up this screen. And there are several things. There's a career guide, there's a Focus 2 assessment, there's a vault, there are online interviews, there's a ton of resources that the Career Center has offered, supposedly free, right, for you. Really, you're paying tuition, those tuition dollars pay for all these services. But there's one that I want to hone in on, which is the Focus 2 assessment. So if you were to click on that, this screen would pop up. And this is basically a self-assessment. Again, you answer a bunch of questions. There are 5 categories. One is the work interest assessment, the personality assessment, the leisure assessment, the values assessment, and the skills assessment. As you can see, this aligns almost identically with the IKIGAItest.com. And so this is another way for you to kind of answer a bunch of questions, answer from the hip, kind of just what your heart tells you quickly, don't overthink it. And then it will spit out some results for you. So you can take this Focus 2 assessment. All you need to do is log into Handshake, click on Focus 2, and then you create a login. You're going to need to use a code. The code is Go Bruins, which is right here, GOBRUINS. And again, you can do this outside of the workshop, but I do highly recommend you complete the Focus 2 assessment. Again, it'll give you some results that you hopefully align with or reinforce what you already knew about yourself. And maybe you might get some surprising results that may make you rethink or adjust your potential career plans. It's kind of silly to expect an 18, 19, 20-year-old to figure out their perfect Ikigai, their perfect career pathway at such a young, tender age without having explored the workplace, without having, worked at different companies and tried different jobs and developed different skills. So it's really hard for somebody so early in their career to figure out exactly what they want. And there's a lot of people my age that are still figuring it out, right? So there's no pressure to do this, but it's good to engage in the self-exploration process and to be taking these types of assessments. I would recommend on a yearly basis, to be honest, because things change. You learn new things, you discover new things, you have a shift in mindset and change in attitude where you're looking for different things at different points in your life. But I do recommend you do these assessments at least once a year so you can get a feel for, at this point in time, what is it that you're looking for so that you can find something that makes you happy. Moving on, there's also a Myers-Briggs personality assessment. So hopefully all of you have taken one of these at some point in your early careers. But if you haven't, there's a link here, Myers-Briggs, where you can take a free personality assessment. There are, I think, 16 personality type profiles. And you can figure out what kind of personality are you. And this should help you decipher and figure out what kind of work environment you're going to thrive in. Because certain personalities like oversight and they want somebody telling them what to do, and they want very strict rules and guidelines, and they want to give you, you need a box and rules to play or to do work under. Other people, they have personality where they hate that. They think that's micromanagement. They want to be left to be free and to have the creativity to explore things and do things on their own, in their own manner. And so who you are and what your innate personality is should absolutely shift where you end up looking for work and what kind of company and position you're hoping to get. And more importantly, what kind of boss you're looking for. So those interviews are not just them interviewing you, you should be interviewing them also. So those are kind of three assessments that I highly recommend you go through on a personal, kind of introspective, reflective process so that you can find this perfect alignment. So you know what you're looking for. And that's really the first step of any career exploration process. Um, oh, by the way, I should mention, if you have any questions, feel free to write them down or jot them down in the Q&A portion um, of the Zoom webinar. And then we'll get to those questions at the end in the live Q&A. There are different types of companies. There are small companies, large companies. I'm not going to go through this right now, but it's a slide that you can kind of take a look at, maybe take a screenshot right now so you can look at this later. But you definitely, once you know yourself and once you complete these assessments and you know what you're looking for, you're going to decide whether a small company is a better fit for you or a large company. And again, that's totally based on your personality and who you are and what your value system is. So I'm not going to go too much into detail to this slide. At the end of the day, your goal is to identify a dream job. Sorry about that pause there. There was something that was distracting me, so I figured it's better for me to pause than to ruin the video. So anyways, the idea here is for you to eventually identify a dream job, a dream company. And you should be able to, outline what is it that you're looking for. So this is a sample here of a student, maybe a bioengineering student that's looking for a large biotech company that, that allows them to interact with a variety of different fields in biotech. So this is kind of a large conglomerate company that has sub-companies like Genentech, Spark Therapeutics, Tusk Therapeutics, over 40 different biotech companies under the one conglomerate, big company. They're looking for a company that's innovating current technologies that impact people's lives, a company that addresses current biomedical challenges through inventions and innovation and addresses diversity and equality as part of their mission. Once you know what you're looking for, then you can start finding positions. And this is kind of a dream job, dream company for this student. It's a chief technical officer at a biotech company called Roche. And again, it's a Swiss multinational company, but they have control of several American biotech companies like Genentech. They have pharmaceutical and diagnostic products, and a CTO, the chief technology officer position, is responsible for all technical and scientific affairs. So this is kind of a dream job, like at the end, it's going to take some time to get this. This is not an entry level dream position, right? So you could start with looking for an entry level position for yourself or a kind of 5-10 years down the line dream endpoint of your arc. And so, it's good to have goals. Again, those goals will change. Obviously, it's not like it's set in stone and you're committed to doing this for the rest of your life, but it's important to know, for you to know where are you at this point in time and what you're hoping to work towards and what you're looking towards. So anyways, bottom line here, without wasting too much more of the time, is to find your IKIGAI. And that starts with looking within. And then once you know what you're looking for, you can start looking outside.